While America's national parks are mostly known for fascinating views and breathtaking natural features, in the 1960s these sites were used for far more. Astronauts that would go on to set foot on the moon did a lot of their training in parks across the nation. Let's explore how national parks from Texas to Hawaii helped prepare the Apollo crews for their journey to the stars. One of NASA's goals for the Apollo mission was to collect samples of rocks from the moon in order to analyze them back on Earth. To make sure the crew knew what to look for, they were sent to the Grand Canyon along with U.S. survey geologist Dr. E. Dale Jackson. The astronauts spent 2 days there, spending the night at the bottom of the canyon. According to an unnamed astronaut, this was some of the most beneficial training they received. Another major part of their training was learning about volcanoes, and where better to do that than in Hawaii Volcanoes National Park? The Apollo 11 crew spent quite a bit of time in 1965 studying the volcanoes around Hawaii. They even made the 13-mile hike up Mauna Loa, the largest volcano in the world, to get a close look at its summit crater. After the success of Apollo 11, it was evident how beneficial this training on Earth was to lunar missions. This led to NASA looking for more sites to give astronauts a feel for what the terrain of the moon was like. On August 22, 1969, Apollo 14 astronauts arrived at Craters of the Moon National Monument. While the expeditions we mentioned earlier were mostly focused on geology, this trip was mostly focused on helping the crew become familiar with walking on the moon and recognizing larger features to describe them to trained geologists at home. In 1999, 3 of the 4 astronauts that were part of this expedition returned to celebrate the monument's 75th anniversary. However, this is far from the last time NASA and the MPS have worked together. Between 2009 and 2010, astronaut couple Bob Bencoon and Megan MacArthur brought several national park souvenirs with them to the International Space Station, including an MPS banner, as well as patches from Arches, Big Bend, and Yellowstone. Just like the National Park Service helped NASA in the 1950s and 60s, NASA is now helping the MPS by providing photos of the parks from space, from Katmai to the Grand Canyon. To show the gratitude for these efforts, in 2016, the MPS named the NASA Astronaut Corps Honorary Park Rangers. There are also several National Historic Landmarks preserving important parts of NASA's history, created following the MPS's 1984 Man in Space theme study, which was used to identify historically significant NASA sites. These include many facilities still in use today, including Johnson and Kennedy Space Centers. These landmarks were centered around facilities used for the Apollo program, one of the most historically significant accomplishments by NASA to this day. Thanks for joining us for this look into the history of NASA through America's national parks. We'll see you next time.